Hi guys, have another fitness challenge for you today. Today we're going to be working with a kettlebell. Now, not everyone has a kettlebell, so I'm going to show you a couple of other things that we can use for the kettlebell. Before we get into the form of the actual exercise, I want to go over the challenge because it is going to require you to do it throughout the day. We're going to do 10 one-minute sets of max effort kettlebell swings. So 10 times throughout the day, you're going to stop whatever you're doing and you're going to do as many kettlebell swings as you can in 1 minute. Now, the goal is to consistently move that whole 60 seconds and then to be consistent each time you do it. So if you did 20 swings the very first minute, you want to try to replicate that every subsequent time that we come back and try it again. Either matching the reps from the previous round or exceeding and building from there. So we don't ever want to drop lower, all right? So that's the format. 10 1-minute max effort kettlebell swings. And now I want to break down the actual exercise because the kettlebell swing is one of the most effective implements that we can use for total body fitness. It includes all of the joints, but more than that, it really focuses on the posterior chain, the muscles of your back, your glutes, and your hamstrings, which are usually overshadowed when we're working out on our own by the anterior muscles on the front of the body. So if you don't have a kettlebell, you can also use a dumbbell. And if you're going to use a dumbbell, you're going to have both hands wrapped around one end of the dumbbell. This is going to be your starting position, and we're just going to swing from right here. You could also use a medicine ball. If you don't have a kettlebell or a dumbbell, you can use a medicine ball. If it has handles, great. You're going to have both hands on one handle. If you don't, you can always do it with hands on either end of the ball. So that's another option. But ultimately, we would like to use the kettlebell so we can get comfortable with the movement. But if you don't have it, you can substitute it out. Now, a couple of things on the kettlebell. The kettlebell swing is a momentum or a power-based movement. It's based on velocity and speed. And so the first thing we want to do is make sure that we've got enough weight to actually do something. So my favorite way to test that is just if I'm holding my weight straight down, if I have the strength to lift the kettlebell up to horizontal using just my shoulder strength, whatever I'm using as that weighted implement is not heavy enough. It needs to be just a little bit heavier than what you can naturally lift up to a shoulder level, all right? So once we've got the weight of whatever we're going to be swinging, we want to break it down, all right? The first thing we want to focus on is back stability. Here is the most important thing to focus on, keeping your back nice and straight and making sure that the momentum is coming from the hip extension and the knees. So I'm going to go ahead and turn sideways so you can see that happen. All right, so I'm going to start with my shoulders back. Shoulder blades are nice and tight, and you can see that the kettlebell is just hanging down in front of my body. Now I'm just going to drop my knees and drop my chest just a little bit, but not so much that I lose my back and round my upper back. I want to keep that nice and tight, all right? And then you want to start by getting a little momentum. So we're going to violently, I shouldn't say violently, but we're going to violently extend the knees and the hips at the same time. And in doing that, that carries the momentum up. And for this challenge today, we're only going to be doing shoulder kettlebell swings. So just to the shoulder height, just like this. So you're going to set your clock and you're going to try to maintain that swinging motion for 1 minute. Now, I want to, for safety's sake, if you start to notice that your form is going out the window and you're rounding your back or you're dropping down too far, things like that, then I want you to stop and reset or drop the weight down lower. Now, more than likely what's going to happen is as you get further along in that minute, as you're starting to swing, that momentum is going to want to pull you forward farther. We don't want to get down into this position because then it's easier for us to lose our back, both upper back and lower back. So one thing to keep in mind is envision that you have something printed on the front of your shirt and somebody is standing in front of you watching you do the kettlebell swings. they should always be able to see whatever is printed on your shirt. As soon as I've dropped my chest down and they've lost that sight, that means I'm coming too far forward in the swing. All right, so nice, tight, straight back. Momentum comes from the hips and the knees. So as you get tired and as that starts to want to pull you forward, instead of letting it pull you forward as it comes down, use a little bit more leg, and that will help you drive up out of the bottom. But that's kind of a breakdown. We're gonna do 1 minute, as many swings as we can, and we're gonna do that 10 times throughout the day. And then you can go on afterwards onto the Movara home feed, post how many reps you got each of those 10 cycles. Good luck.